Hello students, today I will teach you haloalkanes and haloarenes. It comes under organic chemistry plus 2 second year science. Students, before we start this topic, we should know what is the importance of reading this topic. In the day of science and technology, and as science student, we should know first its importance in our daily life, its importance in case of science and technology. Students, haloalkanes and haloarenes are organic compounds. As you know, organic compounds contain carbon, hydrogen as the basic elements. Along with this, there may be halogens like fluorine, chlorine, bromine or iodine, and also other elements like oxygen, sulfur, phosphorus, nitrogen, etc. So, in organic chemistry we have haloalkanes and also haloarenes, and now I will discuss why we read this chapter. What is the necessity of reading this chapter or topic? Students, in our daily life, we use medicine to cure disease. We use different types of items. We use solvents. We use different types of antibiotics, antiseptics. These are nothing but organic compounds, and you find applications of haloalkanes and haloarenes in these cases. I will discuss in detail. So, before that, we should now know why we read this topic. Students, first of all, we should start the application of haloalkanes and haloarenes. And the first application is anesthesia. You know, anesthesia means a type of medicine given to a patient during operations. Doctors give anesthesia to the patient, and after that they start doing operation. And this anesthesia is nothing but a chemical compound belongs to haloalkane. Students, I will show you the structure of haloalkane and the first anesthesia, halothane. Look at this structure. This is halothane, CF3CHClBr. I can just tell you, these black balls are carbon atoms, these blue balls are fluorine atoms, and this yellow one is one called bromine, and this one is your chlorine atoms. So, this is the example of halothane, and you see here all the bonds are single bonds. So, it belongs to haloalkane family. It is used as an anesthesia. Students, remember, not only anesthesia, we are using this haloalkane and haloarene in many other purposes. For example, look at this slide, antibiotic. Remember that antibiotic means when you suffer fever, when you are suffering from fever or any type of health problem, then we need medicine like antibiotic, analgesics, antipyretics. So, now I will say one compound of haloalkane is chloramphenicol. This chloramphenicol is used as a medicine for typhoid fever. So, if you are suffering from typhoid, doctor will prescribe you a medicine chloramphenicol, and you can see in the screen that chloramphenicol is an organic compound and it contains chlorine atoms in its backbone. Students, similarly, many more applications are there. I will show you now. Look at the slide. Very important medicine, chloroquine. Chloroquine, I think you have it in at your home also, chloroquine. It is used for treatment of malaria. If you look at the slide, you see the structure of chloroquine, where the chlorine atom is attached to the benzene ring system. It is an aromatic compound. I will discuss this in detail. What is aromatic compound later on. So, this is chloroquine, chlorine atom attached to benzene ring system and used as a medicine for malaria. Look at another application. Students, you have seen sometimes you suffer an accident, a severe accident, then definitely you will move to the medical, and doctors will tell we need immediate operation, but you need blood, and if your blood group is not matching, then immediately the difficulty arises that how to operate the patient. At that time, we need blood substitute, means artificial blood. Students, look at the screen. You see a compound fluosyl DA, a type of organic compound belongs to haloalkane family, where you find in the structure that so many fluorine atoms are there. This type of compound is a substitute for blood during operation. If blood is not available, means natural blood is not available, then you can use this blood for the survival of the patient. So, see the application. Why we are reading this topic? I have told you why we are reading this topic. This is because of this application, the use in our daily life. Look at the next slide. The another important application of haloalkane and haloarenes is the use of solvent, means haloalkanes and haloarenes are used as solvent in various purposes. In the screen you are looking at two compounds, one is trichloroethane and the another one is dichloroethylene. Look at the pictures also and try to analyze what I am going to tell you. The picture will say the application of these organic compounds. Students, these two haloalkanes I can explain you in terms of model. Look at this. This one is trichloroethylene. Look at this. There are two carbon atoms, three chlorine atoms. Just simply assume that these green balls are chlorine atoms. Simply assume. Sometimes I may use red ball, I may use pink ball. Do not worry. Simply assume that these green balls are chlorine atoms, black ball is carbon, and the smaller one, the smallest atomic size, hydrogen, by a small white ball. So, you see this is your CHHH-CH3, a single bond, CCl. This is trichloroethylene molecule. You see the next one, dichloroethylene, simply by replacing one chlorine atom and by introducing one hydrogen, this is called dichloroethylene. These two are very good solvent, very good solvent. For example, just like I am wearing a nice cloth, I think night shirt, you may assume it. If for example, a drop of ink or something else you put on this dress, then you need to clean it. You go to a dry cleaner and you give your shirt. After a few days you come, oh, my shirt is all, now it is very much clear, means you get your shirt just like a new shirt. Then students, think it, the solvents they are using for this purpose is this trichloroethylene or dichloroethylene. Similarly, many other solvents are there for other purposes. Look at the next slide. This is perchloroethylene and trichloroethylene, or you can say tetrachloroethylene and trichloroethylene. These two are very important solvents. For what purpose? Look at the screen and try to understand the picture. What the picture tells? The picture tells you about degreasing of the metal surface. For example, you have a metal surface and it is already having some grease on it, and you want to degrease it to clean it. Then you can use these two solvents. I can show the pictures also. This one is the model diagram of tetrachloroethylene. You see it is a double bond in between. Two bonds are there, and there are four single bonds, 4 chlorine atoms, 2 carbons, and a double bond in between the 2 carbons. This is the structure of tetrachloroethylene. This is the structure of trichloroethylene, 3 chlorine atoms and 1 hydrogen. These two are the solvents used for metal degreasing purpose. Hence, we call these two compounds as metal degreasing solvents. Students, remember that we need solvent. For example, when we eat food, we want to digest it, therefore we need solvent like water. Similarly, many chemical compounds are there, they need solvent to dissolve. Look at the next slide, what I am telling. This is one important one. This is called dichloromethane. This is an important solvent for paint remover. For example, you have paint on a metal surface or any other surface, you want to clean it, you use this one. This is called as dichloromethane. You see there are 2 chlorine atoms and 2 hydrogen atoms. Important solvent for paint remover, means paint on the board or any type of wood surface or metal surface, you want to clean it, you use this solvent. Next one, students, antiseptic, very important one. For example, you have now suffered a small injury on your hand and you have gone to medical. Then what the doctor will do? He immediately simply wash the injured portion, the injured area with one type of solvent. We call it as antiseptic, and the structure of this compound is this one, iodoform. This is the iodoform. The pink balls are the iodine atoms and the white one is the hydrogen, CHI3, iodoform. Iodoform is used as antiseptic because it kills the microbes or the bacterial infection on your skin, and after that you can use medicine on it. This is called antiseptic. Students, there is more applications. See this next slide. Refrigerant. You know that you have AC, air conditioner, and sometimes people will come to fill the gas, and the gas the person will fill on this AC is nothing but chlorofluorocarbon. Chlorofluorocarbon. Remember, there are 2 fluorine atoms and there are 2 chlorine atoms. Look at this structure. These 2 small balls are fluorine atoms and 2 bigger balls are chlorine atoms. This is chlorofluorocarbon, a refrigerant for air conditioner. Students, remember that this topic has many applications. If I will start telling, then it will take so many time. But in brief, I will tell 1 or 2 applications. Fire extinguisher also contains carbon tetrachloride as the solvent. Carbon tetrachloride is used in fire extinguisher to put up fire. Students, next one you see fire retardants. There are 2 chemicals used to also put up fire. They are called fire retardants. Fire retardants and fire extinguishers both have the chemical compounds of haloalkanes and haloarenes. Students, the last application of haloalkanes and haloarine is use of insecticide. The most commonly used insecticide is DDT. It is called dichloro diphenyl trichloroethane. It is used to kill insects including mosquitoes. So, students, I have discussed various applications of haloalkanes, haloarines used for various purposes. Now, we will just put our legs inside the topic, that is the introduction part. What do you mean by haloalkanes? What do you mean by haloarines? So, let us discuss what are haloalkanes and what are haloarines. Haloalkanes, two words, halo and alkane. Halo means, recall your first year knowledge, periodic table, halogen family, fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. Also one more element is there, that is called astatine, but commonly fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine are called halogens. Second part is alkane. Students, you know again, alkanes means hydrocarbons, also called saturated hydrocarbons, means containing carbon and hydrogen, and all the bonds are single bonds. Students, haloarine means what? Again two word, halo and arine. Halo means same thing, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Arine means aromatic compound. Students, what do you mean by aromatic compound? I will discuss after some time what is aromatic compounds and what is aliphatic compounds. Let us now look into the next slide. Simple the definition of haloalkane. If you replace one hydrogen atom from the sp3 hybridized carbon atom in an aliphatic hydrocarbon and you put one halogen atom, fluorine, chlorine, bromine or iodine, then you get haloalkane. Means replacing one hydrogen by one halogen. From an alkane you get haloalkane. I will just tell here that haloarine is similarly same thing, replacement of hydrogen from an aromatic compound like benzene. The simplest aromatic compound is benzene, and from that benzene if you replace one hydrogen and you put one halogen, you get haloarines. So, before we start the classification of haloalkanes and haloarines, look these things: hydrocarbon, aliphatic, aromatic, containing carbon and hydrogen. Aliphatic, further divided, saturated, unsaturated, means you have only single bonds or you may have double bond or triple bonds. Students, I have given you some examples. You can look at the slide that if you have all single bonds, maybe straight chain or branch, you can say saturated hydrocarbon. I have given one example there also. I have drawn the diagrams in bond line form, means you can be able to see where is carbon, where is hydrogen, but you know it that where the two bonds meet there is a carbon and each carbon bonded to hydrogen or another carbon atom, making the valency of carbon equal to 4. These are preliminary things you know from your first year courses. Students, next slide you see it. Aromatic compounds. Aromatic means it must obey Haeckel's rule. A compound should be a ring compound and it must obey Haeckel's rule, that is 4n plus 2 pi electrons rule. You know it from the first year topic aromatic hydrocarbon, where n equal to 0, 1, 2, 3 like this. If you put n equal to 0, you may have 2 pi electrons, 6 pi electrons, 10 pi electrons. Look at the example benzene, it contains 6 pi electrons. So, it obeys Haeckel's rule, hence it is called aromatic compound. Students, now I will discuss how to convert alkane into haloalkane. Very simple. Take an example, methane, the carbon atom attached to 4 hydrogen atoms. I will replace one hydrogen and I will put one halogen. You get haloalkane. Look at the model. This is methane. You see the carbon atom attached to 4 hydrogens. Now I will replace one hydrogen and I put one chlorine atom. You can see the bigger one, the bigger ball, pink ball. This is chlorine atom. This is called as haloalkane. So, this is alkane, my left hand, alkane, my right hand is haloalkane. The difference you can look it. Simple replacing one hydrogen and putting one halogen. Look at the screen, same thing is there. I replaced hydrogen and I put one chlorine atom and you get methyl chloride, CH3Cl. Next one, look at it. How can you convert aromatic compound into haloarine? See the example, benzene. You remove one hydrogen from any carbon atom and put one chlorine, you get chlorobenzene, or you can get halobenzene depending on the halogen atom you have attached. So, simple things you remember, replacing one hydrogen and putting one halogen giving you haloalkane or haloarine respectively. Students, now I will tell you what I have taught you till now. Remember, from the beginning I have told you that what do you mean by haloalkane, haloarines, and I have given so many examples, so many applications, like the purposes of reading this topic, that is haloalkanes and haloarines are used in medical purposes, used in preparing medicine, used as solvent, used as insecticide, used as pesticides, many applications. I have explained you clearly one by one, one by one. Focused on this, I have taught you how to get haloalkane, haloarine by showing you models, the atomic models. There I have shown you that replacing one hydrogen from an alkane or from an arene and by putting one halogen, you are getting haloalkanes or haloarines. Means you must know that alkane means it is simply saturated hydrocarbon CnH2n 2 plus, means CnH2n plus 2. Replace one hydrogen and put one halogen, you get CnH2n plus 1 bond X, means the general formula of haloalkane is called alkyl halide. Similarly, from benzene, for example, C6H6 is the benzene, replaced one hydrogen and put one halogen, you get haloarine. For example, if it is C6H6 and replaced one halogen atom, so one hydrogen by one halogen, you get C6H5X called halobenzene. Students, in the part 2, we will discuss the classification of haloalkanes. Very interesting. How to classify haloalkanes, primary haloalkanes means primary alkyl halide, secondary alkyl halide, tertiary alkyl halide, different allyl halide, benzyl halide, vinyl halide, different types of haloalkanes called classification in the next part of my lecture. We will discuss the classification and nomenclature of haloalkanes and haloarines, part 2. But before I start the topic, I should recap the last class what we have read. We have read what is the application of haloalkanes and haloarenes in our life? We have discussed different types of haloalkanes and haloarenes and how we obtain haloalkanes and haloarine from alkanes and arine by removing hydrogen and by introducing halogens. In today's class, we will discuss in detail regarding classification of haloalkanes, different types of haloalkanes based on the number of halogens attached, and classification based on hybridization, then how to write the structure of different haloalkane haloarine compounds, that is by IUPAC system, and also we will discuss how to draw the structure of compounds, and in the last we will discuss some question and answers. Students, now let us start how haloalkanes and haloarenes are classified. Look at the slide. Haloalkanes and haloarenes are classified based on the number of halogen atoms attached to the carbon atom. In the screen you see monohaloalkane, means the alkane contains only one halogen atom. The example I have given, methyl chloride CH3Cl, the carbon atom to which there is only one chlorine atom, example of monohaloalkane. Next one I have given propyl chloride. Look at that structure, there are 3 carbon atoms to which there is only one halogen. So, if one halogen atom is present, it is called monohaloalkane. Again you see what is monohaloarine. Look at the structure, benzene ring attached to one halogen. I have told you in the previous class that when you replace one hydrogen from benzene and put one halogen, you get monohaloarine. Similarly, if you have 2 halogens attached to a carbon system or to a compound, organic compound, we say dihaloalkane or dihaloarine. Look at the next slide. Dihaloalkane further classified into geminal dihalide and vicinal dihalide. Here you see 2 structure, one is geminal dichloride and vicinal dichloride. What do you mean by geminal dichloride? It means if a carbon attached to 2 halogens, remember students, if a carbon attached to 2 halogens, then it is called geminal dihalide. Similarly, if 2 halogens attached to 2 carbons, but they are present adjacent, means neighboring carbons, 2 carbons and 2 halogens to each, 1 halogen to each carbon, we call it as vicinal. Vicinal means from vicinity, it is vicinal, means adjacent, neighboring carbons. Geminal means from geminity, means from same carbon. Similarly, you have dihaloarenes. Look at the structures in the next slide. Dihaloarenes means benzene ring system having 2 halogens. Remember student, just like dihaloalkane, you cannot attach 2 halogens to a single carbon in benzene, because benzene carbon has already attached to a double bond. Therefore, you can only attach 1 hydrogen. So, look at the structure, 2 halogens are present adjacent position. In the next structure, 2 halogens are present at 1,3 position. If you numbered the carbons, the last one, the 2 halogens at opposite position means 1,4 position. Sometimes these 3 compounds we commonly say ortho dihalobenzene, the first one, meta dihalobenzene, the second one, and para dihalobenzene, the third one. Means dihalobenzene or dihaloarenes are classified into ortho, meta, and para. Let us see what do you mean by trihaloalkanes. Trihaloalkanes, look at the structure. Trihaloalkanes are again of two different types. The first one you see at the top, each carbon attached to one halogen. In the below structure you see left side, one halogen attached to one carbon attached to three halogen. So, you may attach 3 halogen to a single carbon, or you may attach one carbon and one halogen, but 3 halogens are there, hence it is called trihaloalkane. The right side you see it is trihaloarenes. Here you see a benzene ring system and 3 halogens attached, one to each carbon, means 3 carbon, 3 halogens. This is a type of trihaloarenes. Next slide. See, after discussing this, one more I can say, if a carbon attached to 4 halogens, it is called tetrahalo compounds. I can show you one model for that. Look at this model. Tetrahaloalkane means a carbon atom attached to 4 halogen atoms. I put one model for that. This is the carbon. These are 4 halogens. Say chlorine. This is a tetrahaloalkane compound. No hydrogen. All the bonds attached to carbon atom are halogens. If it is chlorine atom, this compound is called carbon tetrachloride. Very important organic solvent, carbon tetrachloride. This is called tetrahaloalkane. Students, after discussing the type of haloalkanes based on the number of halogen atoms attached to a carbon, now I will classify monohaloalkanes, means monohalogen hydrocarbons, and these monohaloalkanes classified on the based on hybridization. Look at the screen, you can see also 2 types of hybridization. One is sp3 hybridized carbon atom to which you attach halogen, or sp2 hybridized carbon atom to which you attach halogen. One by one we will discuss, because this is very important. Once you know the compound, once you write the structure, then only in exam you can able to answer the question. Therefore, classification and nomenclature is very important to know it. Next slide you can see, based on sp3 hybridization, the first class of haloalkane is called alkyl halide. When I use alkyl, it is called the common name. When I use haloalkane, it is the IUPAC name. You know the full form of IUPAC, International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. It is a system to write the name of organic compound. Students, you see in the screen Rx I have written, Rx. R means alkyl and X means halogen. R may be methyl, R may be ethyl, but see methyl or ethyl, the carbon atom to which the X group or halogen is attached, it is sp3 hybridized. How you know? Very simple. If a carbon attached to 4 single bonds, the carbon atom is called sp3 hybridized. I can show you a model how to know it is sp3 hybridized. Look at this structure, you can see it, you can know it. This carbon is sp3 hybridized. It is a methane compound, all the bonds are single bonds and hydrogen. All single bonds means the carbon is sp3 hybridized. If to that carbon I replace one hydrogen and I put one halogen, then this carbon is sp3 hybridized, and to this sp3 hybridized carbon the halogen is present. So, this is an example of alkyl halide. Remember, alkyl halide, the carbon is sp3 hybridized. You may attach methyl, you may attach ethyl, propyl, butyl, any alkyl group you can attach, no problem. Next, come to the next part of our discussion, that is how this sp3 hybridized carbon in another way can be named in different things. For example, next slide you see it. Alkyl halides we can further classify to primary, secondary or tertiary. Primary means if the carbon, just I have shown in the model, if the carbon attached to sp3 means if the halogen attached to sp3 hybridized carbon, and to that carbon there is one more carbon only, then the carbon is called primary. The compound is called primary alkyl halide. And similarly, if to the sp3 hybridized carbon to which halogen is attached, further attached to two carbons, then it is called secondary. And similarly, if the carbon attached to three more carbons and then to halogen, it is called tertiary. In model also I can show you what is primary, secondary and tertiary. Look at this first one, primary. This one primary, you see it, this is a primary carbon, because this carbon is sp3 hybridized. To that carbon you have halogen and then there is one more carbon. So, one carbon to which X attached and then is the next carbon. This is called primary alkyl halide. The next one you see it, this is secondary. Why? The red ball, the yellow ball is the halogen, and to that carbon you have two more carbons. You see, one yellow ball is a halogen carbon, then to that carbon you have two more carbon. This is called secondary alkyl halide. See this one, very interesting one, a long one. Yes, this one. See one, this is the halogen, and you have three carbons attached to the middle carbon, sp3 hybridized carbon. To that three more carbons are there. This is called tertiary alkyl halide. So, students, alkyl halides classified into three types: primary, secondary and what the tertiary. Look at the next slide. Yes, I have given you examples. What I have shown you, I have given in examples what is primary. So, examples are there. Methyl bromide is super primary because the carbon atom does not attach to any more carbon. So, methyl bromide is super primary, sometimes called 0 degree. Then ethyl bromide is primary, it is called ethyl bromide. Next slide you see it. Examples: carbon atom attached to two halogens, two methyl groups and bromine atom. This is called isopropyl bromide, a secondary alkyl halide. Then you have a carbon atom to which three methyls attached along with bromine, called tertiary butyl bromide or called as tertiary alkyl halide. Next slide you see this one, some examples you can note it. Three examples given, one is N-propyl bromide, one is isopropyl chloride and the last one is called tertiary butyl bromide. And I have marked the carbon which are sp3 hybridized, to which halogens have been attached. The next one is allyl halide. Look at this, allyl halide means in this case also the carbon atom to which the halogen is attached is sp3 hybridized, but before that you have one more carbon to which a double bond is present, means a double bonded carbon, then a single bonded carbon to which sp3 carbon to which the halogen is attached. Students, you have seen on the slide how allyl halide looks. Now, I will just show you allyl halide in terms of the atomic model, means how it looks in atomic model. Look at this. this is the structure of allyl halide. Here this carbon is sp3 hybridized, to which the halogen is attached, and the next carbon, adjacent carbon, is sp2 hybridized, and you see the double bond between two carbon. This is called allyl halide. Carbon atom sp3 hybridized, and these two carbons are sp2 hybridized. Look at the screen. Next one is vinylic halide. Vinylic halide is a type of organic compound in which the halogen atom attached to carbon-carbon double bond, means the carbon atom attached to sp2 hybridized carbon, to which the halogen is attached. Look at this model, it becomes clear. See the model, carbon-carbon double bond, this carbon is sp2 hybridized, this carbon is also sp2 hybridized, and to which the halogen is attached. This is called vinyl halide, and this group, if I will simply remove this halogen atom, this group is called vinylic group. This is vinylic group, and once I put this halogen, now I put this halogen, this is called vinylic chloride or vinylic halide, depending on the halogen attached. Next, students, we will move to one more type of alkyl aryl halide, one more type of halide, that is called as benzyl halide. The benzyl halide is also a type of allyl halide, in which the carbon atom to which the halogen is attached is sp3 hybridized, but that carbon is attached to benzene ring system. Look at the slide, this one, this is benzylic halide. Here you see that the carbon atom is sp3 hybridized, and that carbon attached to benzene ring system, means in benzene all the carbons are sp2 hybridized, but the carbon which is outside it is sp3 hybridized, to which the halogen is attached. I have given you an example on the screen. Benzyl chloride means in the right side you can see benzene ring, then CH2 and then chlorine. This is called benzyl chloride. Students, next we will discuss about aryl halide, means this one. Look at the screen, this is aryl halide. You see here benzene is there in the center, and the highlighted portion carbon is sp2 hybridized, and directly to that carbon X is attached, means halogen is attached to the carbon atom of the benzene ring system. In case of benzyl, the halogen attached to a carbon which is outside benzene ring, but in this case the halogen is directly attached to the benzene nucleus. Look at the board. I will give you one example where you see that how benzyl, alkyl and aryl differs. With a simple example, I will show you this example. This one, this is the benzene nucleus. You have 3 pi bonds in alternate position. If I will put halogen here, this is called aryl group. If I will put here CH2 and then X, you see this carbon is outside benzene ring, and this group is called benzyl. Along with this benzene, along with benzene X is aryl, along with benzene CH2X is benzyl. And if like a group like this, CH2, then CH2, then CH2, then X, a long carbon chain along with this one, this part is alkyl. This part is alkyl group. So with benzene, directly attached halogen, and this carbon is sp2 hybridized, this carbon is sp3 hybridized, and all these carbons are all sp3 hybridized. But a long chain alkyl group, only a single carbon outside benzene is benzyl group, directly attached halogen is your aryl group. That is all about the different types of classification of haloalkanes and haloarenes. Now students, I will now the next session, that is called nomenclature. Already I have written some examples, and all these examples I have written some names of the compound. These names are called IUPAC name. Now I will discuss this section not with simple teaching, but I will put some questions, and also you can try it and I will solve it. Some questions are written wrong, means you get confused, sir, what is the wrong question is there? No, simply to clear your idea, clear your knowledge, I put some question wrong, and I will explain you what is the right nomenclature of their particular compounds. Next, start the first example of IUPAC nomenclature. One example written, you can see the screen: CH3 single bond CH, double bond CH, single bond CH, then down you have CH3, then bromine. So, first of all you have to select the longest carbon chain. Remember students, when you are writing the structure, you select the longest carbon chain, and below you can see one box. That box, inside that box, in the red color, the numberings are there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that is called the longest carbon chain. And you can see always you number from that side where you find the double bond at least position, and if you select this, it is from left to right. Second position is your double bond, and the name is now 4-bromo, then 5 carbons are there in total. So, pent 4-bromo pent 2-ene, 4-bromo pent 2-ene is the IUPAC name of this compound. Next, look at the next compound, this one. Again you see same thing, the longest carbon chain, I made it a box of it, then I have numbered it, and I have numbered in such a way that the position of double bond and position of halogen or any substituents must be at least position. Therefore, numbering is from right to left. So, the name of this compound is 1-bromo 2-methyl but 2-ene. And why 1-bromo? Because the first carbon attaches to bromine, the second carbon attaches to methyl, and that second carbon also contains a double bond. Look at the next example, this one, same thing, there is no double bond, only single bonds, but the position of substituents differ. Therefore, it is numbered from left to right. The name of the compound is 2-bromo 2,3-dimethyl butane. Comma is given because 2 and 3 both contain the same group, that is methyl. Next one example, you see it, this one, same thing, but students, I have written it, it is the incorrect one. Then what is the correct one? The numbering is wrong. The numbering is from left to right, but it should be from right to left, because iodine comes first, then methyl as per the alphabet content. Alphabets means A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, like this, I, then methyl M. So, I comes first, then methyl. Therefore, you start numbering from right to left, and you get the name, and write the name of the compound yourself. Very simple thing, it is not from left to right, but from right to left, because I comes first as iodide, and then methyl M comes second. Next one, next example, you see it. Next one is, I have given you a structure and then to name it, means name is there to draw the structure. So, in this case also you can very simply, you can do very well, because I have explained you how to draw structures. You can see it also numbering from right to left, and this bigger group one is called tertiary butyl group, and then we can also write the name as 4-tertiary butyl, and then 5-iodo, and then heptane. Next one also one of the example, you can see it, the name is there, you can try yourself, you can do it. Next one, a incorrect one, but the correct one I have written also, the numbering is wrong, you numbered it from right to left. So, in this way the next one also there, you can also write the name of the compounds the next one. This is all about your IUPAC nomenclature, and that is all about your classifications and nomenclature of haloalkane haloarenes. Students, now I will recap the whole class what I have taught to you, that is the why haloalkanes haloarenes are important, means the application, then how the haloalkanes haloarenes have been classified like allyl, aryl, benzyl, vinyl, primary, secondary, tertiary, and same thing also we have discussed how to write the name of the organic compounds, mean name of the haloalkane haloarenes by IUPAC nomenclature system, the numbering of carbon chain like this. So, students, we have discussed classifications, nomenclature, applications in a nutshell, and in the coming class we will discuss about the preparation, methods of preparation of haloalkanes and haloarenes in details. So, thank you for listening to me, note it and practice at your home. Thank you very much.